Welcome to Business Model Development. I'm Dr. Matthew Thornton, Business Model Consultant for the Center for Evidence to Practice and CEO of the Center for Children and Families. This is Session 1, Success by Design. And in this session, we'll look at 5 elements of effective organizations. While this series is specifically for behavioral health providers, you have to remember that service providers are first and foremost businesses. From crafting a vision statement to executing your strategic plan, I'll highlight factors your organization needs in place to succeed. Whether you're a nonprofit, for-profit, governmental agency, or private practice, these 5 elements will help improve your organization. Element 1 is called the core. Now, the core of any business is its mission, vision, and values. These make up the character of an organization. The mission defines purpose. A mission statement itself should be a brief description of what organizations want to focus on and accomplish. It's a way of guiding your energy, your actions, and decisions towards the things that are most important to you and your agency. For example, the mission statement at my agency is to promote safe, healthy environments for children and families. We focus our energy on kid-centric services that treat children in their natural environment, such as a home, school, or with their family, whatever that might look like. So if a funding opportunity comes out for adult inpatient services, as great as it might look, we're going to pass because it doesn't fit our mission. A mission gives you a clear purpose and keeps you from scattering your resources. Now, while a mission explains why an organization exists, vision tells where it's going. The vision of a company captures the essence of what you want to be. Take, for instance, the TED company that gives us those great TED Talks. Their vision statement is, our agenda is to make great ideas accessible and spark conversation. It's pretty great. And what's more is they're able to achieve it. Your company's vision needs to tell a compelling story of the future. It should paint a picture of a future your organization is that's both engaging and obtainable. So at my agency, the vision is to make a difference in the community while creating a life-giving workplace where people can live out their personal mission. And for us, that creates both momentum and direction. Core values are the fundamental beliefs of an organization. They should underpin the whole business, from governing how we treat one another to guiding business processes. Core values clarify who we are and what we stand for. Let me give you another example. Integrity is one of our core values, and we operationalize it in this way. We are trustworthy. We are reliable, authentic, and loyal. We do what we say we will do, and we have the courage to do the right thing. We welcome accountability and conduct our business with honesty and transparency. Now, there's a ton in there, but one of the parts it means this, and as crazy as it sounds, we welcome such things as site visits and audits. Now, don't get me wrong, these can be painful experiences, but we've committed ourselves to welcoming accountability. And what we know is that on the other side of whatever feedback we receive is an opportunity for us to improve, which overlaps with another one of our core values, excellence. But the core value of integrity, what it does is it changes our stance on feedback and how we treat those that are in positions to give us that feedback. We're supposed to welcome it. So let me take this moment to challenge leaders with this next point. Do not let your core values just become placards on the wall that are forgotten and never talked about. If you do, the credibility of your organization will suffer from the inside out. Integrate your core values into every aspect of your business that you can. Have it be a part of orientation, yes, but also a part of performance evaluations, disciplinary actions, your annual meetings. Reference them in times when you're making decisions, and hold each other accountable to living out your core values. Make the decision to be who you say you want to be. You will become a leader that others want to follow. Now, that takes us through element 1, mission, vision, and values, which makes up the core of your business. If you have these in place, then you have the foundation, purpose, and direction. Everything else that you do should flow from the core. Element 2 is leadership. Leadership is perhaps the most critical and least understood factor that we'll discuss. But rest assured, businesses rise and fall with their leaders. But knowing what makes a great leader is difficult because the type of leadership needed often depends on the nature of the circumstances surrounding an organization. However, there are some central themes to great leadership. Great leaders operate out of principles that are constant. Rather than reacting anxiously to changing times or sometimes often volatile landscapes, a leader should bring a steady, non-anxious presence. But to do so, they must actually be engaged and connected. Indifference does not get the job done. You have to be connected and steady. Great leaders have an unwavering resolve to move a company forward towards a future goal or vision. Leaders must stimulate movement, and to do so, they must be moving themselves. A business will reflect the drive of its leader, so you have to be going somewhere for others to follow. Great leaders also put the needs of others above their own. They're able to put aside their own personal agenda and pour themselves into what's best for the whole organization. A leader that is willing to serve others and make personal sacrifices is the kind of leader that I want to follow. Great leaders are also self-aware, and they pursue personal and professional growth continually. You never arrive as a leader. You must be willing to examine yourself in success and failure, constantly pushing yourself to grow and to learn, especially when it's difficult. Because as a leader, you're going to be asking others to do edge work and to grow and to push themselves, and they will hold no weight if you're unwilling to do it yourself. Now, there's a ton of great literature out there about leadership. And my challenge for you is to find a framework that works for your organization and put in the time to learn it. It could be the most impactful thing that you can do for your organization. Element 3 is culture. And culture is the temperature and feel of your organization. It colors how your company is experienced by not only staff, but also clients and the community. In the book Culture Code, the author says that creating a positive work culture requires building safety, sharing vulnerably, and establishing purpose. When employees feel safe, they're able to form connections. And fear, on the other hand, creates disconnection and anxiety, which stifles innovation because everyone's scared to make a mistake. When a work culture produces a sense of security, staff can breathe, they can communicate, they can create, they experience belonging, which allows for a sense of shared ownership. You hear people say in these kind of cultures, we're in it together. And when employees can share vulnerably, they're able to communicate who they are, what's happening with them, and sometimes very importantly, when they need help. Creating an environment where vulnerability is rewarded allows people to speak the truth. And if you know the truth, you can negotiate what to do. But when you are unwilling to face the brutal facts, that's when you're in real trouble. So it's vital to cultivate space for people at every level of your organization to share openly. When a group has an established purpose, they can move quickly and efficiently together. Establishing a purpose relies heavily on a clear direction and shared language. So much of this has to do with your ability as a leader to communicate the mission, vision, and values throughout your organization in such a way that every person feels included and able to contribute. Now, to create a positive corporate culture, you have to be intentional. And rest assured, it is important because whether you realize it or not, it directly impacts your bottom line. A positive workplace allows for longevity and it prevents early burnout in an already difficult career of behavioral health, which means that you're going to have established and skilled staff in positions longer, reducing turnover and downtime, not to mention the resources and energy needed to bring in new staff and get them up to speed. Referrals are also going to be impacted because when you have a staff that's engaged and enjoying their work, it's going to be recognized in the community, and referrals follow positive experiences. My favorite feedback to receive is when people come up to me and they say, "Where did you get these people? Everyone's so helpful and so happy." And the short answer to that is that we work hard to find great people, but when we find them, we take care of them. You will reap what you sow with the element of culture. Element 4 is structure. The shape of your organization can take different forms, from traditional to non-traditional structures, such as flat agencies with less hierarchy. The important thing is for your structure to fit with your agency's goals. You have to ask the question, do you have the appropriate personnel situated in positions for success? Executive leadership is needed to provide direction and stay aware of external factors in the community, the industry, and even sometimes the political landscape. You need managers and supervisors that are coordinating day-to-day operations and ensuring specific deliverables are being met. And there must be an appropriate number of direct care staff to provide service and to meet the needs of the clients. But finding that appropriate number is key. Either too many staff or too few can create problems. There must be administrative support to help ensure operations run smoothly and efficiently. This can be in the form of an office manager, executive assistants, authorization specialist, or accounts receivable specialist. And depending on the size of your company, many of these functions may overlap, but I find that agencies shoot themselves in the foot by not having the needed support positions. You do not need your supervisor spending hours filing, or your executive director managing and troubleshooting accounts receivable. Highly qualified support staff are worth their weight in gold. So assess the needs of your organization and make the hard decision to invest or divest where it's needed. And the last thing I want to say about structure is to have a clearly defined geographic focus. This will make your life easier because you'll be able to identify accurately client demand. You'll be able to map staff travel, target key stakeholders for referral development, among many other things. Having clear boundaries helps focus your efforts. The risk of not having that clearly defined geographic area is that you can quickly spread yourself too thin and waste precious time and resources. So the key element for structure is fit and need. Element 5 is the plan. The strategic plan is a roadmap to achieving your vision. A plan is helpful in two very meaningful ways. The very process of developing a strategic plan can focus efforts and engage your entire staff. It can help you identify those areas of strength and weakness and opportunities. But also, once the plan is complete, it should serve as an active guide for implementing your vision and accomplishing the mission of your organization. Now, in developing a plan, first understand your track record and past performance. Look at your actual results, your accomplishments, but also your failures and mistakes. Not to make yourself feel bad, but to understand both your strengths and your limitations. You may identify that you're really great in one particular area and decide to focus more resources and time towards developing and doing more of that thing. But you may also see that you clearly stink in another area, and you need to make the tough but often right call to move away from it. Knowing your track record can help you make needed adjustments. And once you've really looked at your past performance, it's time to assess your current status and face what I call the brutal facts. You may be in great shape, but you may also be in financial distress. You may have excellent services across the board, or you may have programs that could have been wrecked by turnover. Whatever your current status, you have to face it head on. So once you have your current assessment of your performance and you face those brutal facts of your agency, it's time to start looking long-term. Now, I like to start with long-term goals and work my way backwards into first steps. Your long-term goals should be grounded by the mission, vision, and values of your company. A long-term goal for you may be to open up services in a new geographic area or start a completely new service. When thinking about your long-term goals, think 5 years out. And from there, with your long-term goals in place, you can set key priorities. And these are going to be the milestones along your way to achieving those goals. But these are shorter term, within a year, things that can be accomplished with the right amount of time and effort in place. Now, once you've got these key priorities mapped, then it's time to script the critical first steps. These are the action steps you need to take right now, today, and next week. Don't make the mistake of setting these lofty long-term goals and just leaving them hanging out there. Script the steps and get moving. Otherwise, the whole process is pointless. And in 5 years, you'll pull out your plan to find that you've just been floating along, reacting to circumstances. Having a solid plan in place allows you to shape the path. And the last thing that I'll say about your plan is to build in adaptability. Or perhaps the best way to put it is for you to be adaptable. And set the expectations with your staff that you're going to make course corrections when needed. The plan should be a living document. You have to be prepared for minor and sometimes major paradigm shifts. So the key for the element of the plan is to constantly assess, to reset, to regroup, and move forward, continuing towards your vision. So we've looked at the 5 elements of effective organizations. The core, which is mission, vision, and values. Leadership, culture, structure, and the plan. These 5 elements are fundamental for your success, no matter the size or type of your organization. If you have these in place, you're ensuring that you'll make a positive impact. This has been Success by Design, Session 1 of Business Model Development. I'm Dr. Matthew Thornton. Thanks for joining me. Now, bonus content for this session is the answer to the question, what's on my bookshelf? First is Good to Great by Jim Collins, a phenomenal book about what sets visionary companies apart from the crowd. Also, Integrity by Henry Cloud. It's about developing the character needed to lead with challenging times. And last is called Switch, which provides a simple framework for understanding how change happens in an organization. All great reads, all worth your time.